You know that sinking feeling you get when your machine just stops working properly? Makes a funny noise, just doesn't sew, and you think, oh, have I just done something? Have I broken it? Most damage to sewing machines doesn't happen in one go. It happens quietly over time from habits that you probably didn't realise were potentially harmful. And today I'm going to walk you through the 5 most common issues that I see. Mistake number 1 is that you're still sewing with the same needle that you had in your machine 3 months ago. But you can see that the top is spinning around, and that's actually bent, that needle. It's also blunt. One way of checking to see if it's blunt is you take a fresh needle. I'm going to swap you over, and you'll see as I spin this one round, you see that's just staying central. That's a nice straight needle. And if you run your thumb down, don't go that way, please don't stab yourself. If you come down this way and rub the tip of the needle, it feels sharp. That's a fresh needle. I can feel that feels sharp. That's a good needle. This one I took out of a machine that I was servicing for somebody else, and not only is it bent, it's also blunt. I can feel that that's blunt. The other thing you might feel from time to time when you rub your finger down is you might feel a little catch, a burr on the metal. Basically, anything you feel, any burr or needle feeling blunt, or the fact that it's twisted, bent like this, just change it. Get yourself a fresh needle and just put it in. Rule of thumb, every time you start a new project, every 8 hours of sewing or so, change your needle. Another tip here, of course, is make sure you're using the right needle for the job. What I've got in my hand here is a standard, what they call a universal needle. Great for cottons, so Pima lawns and cotton poplin, stuff like that. But you're not going to get very far if you're going to sew jersey with this needle, or stretch fabrics, knitted fabrics, or heavy denim fabrics or canvases or something, because the needle just isn't designed to do that. In the case of knitted fabrics, jersey fabrics, you need a ballpoint needle so it doesn't snag the fibres as it passes through the fabric. And in the case of heavier fabrics like denims and canvases, you need a heavier weight needle. This is a 70. You'll be looking for 100 or 110. The higher the number, the thicker the needle, the thicker the fabric. More punch power. This one I see quite a lot is people pulling the fabric when they're sewing. Pulling it through the machine. You're overriding these little metal teeth. Let me drop this out of the way. These metal teeth here, they're called feed dogs. I don't know why, but they are. And they're designed to push up underneath your presser foot and grab the fabric and pull it along. That's what they're designed to do, and you need to allow them to do it. Pulling your fabric, where your stitches are going to be all over the place because you're pulling against the stitch, you're pulling against the needle, and the needle might strike the plate, might strike the shuttle hook inside, cause damage to the needle, cause damage to the machine. Just allow, make sure this is turned on, there you go. Just allow your machine to do its job. See? All I'm doing is keeping it straight. And say, I don't like doing it. Pulling on the fabric is not really going to do you any favours. And you might potentially damage your machine. Okay, little challenge for you. The next time you do some sewing and you finish, at the end, take your bobbin case out. And on this machine, as with all front loaders, it looks something like this. Take that out. Look inside your bobbin case, check it for any lint or build up. Treat yourself to a little paintbrush. And just come around, clean that. Then look underneath and do the same thing. And if you're feeling really brave, and I'll show you how to do this, clip, clip, pull towards you, and that comes out. That's the clip that holds it in, and that's your shuttle hook. And then you can see right behind, particularly if you turn the hand wheel, there you go, you can see behind. And if there's a bit of thread there, see, I'm picking out little bits of lint. Just lift that out with the brush. Point I'm making here, keep your machine clean. Build up of lint, fibres can catch around your shuttle hook, catch around your bobbin and cause you problems. So a little bit of maintenance every time you sew, 5 minutes, keeps the nastiness at bay. You put the hook back in that way, you see, it can only go in one way, it goes against this bar. This can only slide back in one way. Only do this if you feel comfortable with it, otherwise just clean what you can see. It all helps. Even I can knock it out of place. Let's try it again. Helps if you lean the machine back a bit. Put that in there. That will only go in one way. And you know it's right because when you bring these clips back on, they snap back into place. And now I'm turning the hand wheel and that's moving as it should do. That's fine. I've put that back. And then obviously I won't put the bobbin in this way this time. Snap that back in. So just keep things nice and clean. Anytime you see any build up of threads or lint around the top, just clean them out. Another little tip while you're here is to check, and you're doing the clean, make sure there's no damage to your bobbin case, any little catches from the needle, what I was talking about earlier, same with the shuttle hook, same with the plate. Always look around the hole where the needle passes through. If you've pulled, let's bring that back to the middle, it's not in the middle. Yeah, if you've pulled the needle accidentally as you've been sewing, there's a chance it will hit the plate and you'll have a little catch there, and then it's worse, it can actually catch the thread or the fabric as you're sewing. So you might need to get someone to see that, but at least you'll be aware of the damage. This one might surprise you, but not a lot of people do it, but it's quite essential really. When you start to sew, make sure you've got a nice, a bit of fibre from the fabric there, there you go. Make sure you've got a nice tail from the top and the bottom and hold it. Put your thumb down on it here. When you start to sew, just let it go after a couple of stitches. Now, why do I ask you to do that? Basically, it stops any bird's nesting or catching up at the beginning of the stitching. When the machine starts to sew and you're not holding those threads, what it can do, particularly if the tail is quite short, is pull your top thread back inside the machine and unthread your machine. So if you've ever had that problem, or you get a bit of a bird's nesting going on because it's caught around the inside of the machine before it finally sorts itself out and starts to sew. Whereas if you just hold these threads, you're holding them under tension, you're introducing tension into the stitch, but you're also stopping the machine from dragging it from the easiest place you can get it, from the outside, because the top thread is already under tension up to a certain point before it gets to the needle, but the bit that's sticking out, the bit that you've just threaded up, is completely free, and it will just pull that back inside the machine. This one probably sounds like I'm trying to get extra work, I don't know. But the truth of the matter is your machine will need a professional service at some point. Manufacturers talk about every 12 to 18 months if you sew regularly. It's kind of right. What you really need to be listening for is any change in the tone of the machine, the sound of the machine, any clonking or clicking issues that you don't think you've heard before. That's a good time to bring it in. If you don't sew as often, maybe every couple of years or so. And the reason I say that is because one of the things I do in a proper service is take the machine apart and make sure it's oiled and greased properly. And if you don't sew very often, particularly the grease can become hard and can congeal and can pick up fluff and start to cause you problems. The whole point about a proper service is you stop issues becoming problems. That's really what it's about. Some of this what I've shown you today is remedial work and will buy time and means that you're looking after your machine and you're doing the right thing. But actually, like most mechanical devices, particularly with motors like this, you do need to get it looked at. While we're talking about that, I know you can buy sewing machine oil, and rightly so, and use only sewing machine oil in these machines. Not WD-40, not 3-in-1, nothing too heavy, not cooking oil, but sewing machine oil. It's a very light mineral oil. You don't need to use a huge amount of it. In fact, I suggest to people that they put it on a cotton bud and touch it to the points in the machine where they've been told to use it. Any machine with moving parts where metal touches metal, you're going to create friction and they will need oiling. I don't suggest you do that with your brand new computerised machine. That's the point. You need to bring it to someone like me, unfortunately. But we can make sure that the right amount of oil is in the right place and keeps your machine running really nicely. If you've enjoyed watching this, try this one next.